Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Wednesday the 15th of March. Here you can see we have our tables in front of us here. We have two types of tables. We have the trend traders table and the day traders table. These are the same studies but just highlighting different time frames. You can see here some of the currencies are highlighted in green. That means there is a confluence between those currencies, and that's where we'll be focusing some attention in these videos. The tables auto update every 5 minutes 24/7, meaning that you can see how the markets stand right now in real time. Now, I have waited around a little bit this morning to see the sort of tables update. Now, the 9 AM table, if I just bring that in here, I took a screenshot of it at 9 AM and it looked a little bit different than it does now. So I'm just going to bring that onto the screen just to show you that this does update in real time. And you can see this morning at 9 AM it showed us that the pound was the strongest currency on the day traders table. It had the Swiss franc as the second strongest and the CAD as the second weakest. Now you can see that the table looks a lot different. We can see that the pound, although it remains as the strongest, we can see that the Swiss franc has come down to the third strongest currency. You can see that the yen actually swapped from being on the weak side of the table to now being on the strong side, and that's what I was waiting for this morning, to see if the yen would reappear on the strong side of the table, because there's been a lot of risk off in the market this morning, and I wanted to see if the yen strength would follow through here. Now you can see here, obviously it's there at S2. It's also now appeared as S3 on the trend traders, so it's telling me that even from a higher time frame perspective, we could be seeing the yen strengthen. Now, we've mentioned Aussie yen, we've mentioned CAD yen this week. I'm going to focus back on Aussie yen just because there could be another opportunity forming. Now, I just want to bring your attention to the previous sort of discussion that we had on Aussie yen, just to sort of re-jog the memory a little bit. And we can see that I've been talking about the breakout of the lows. I was talking about sellers targeting the 88 or 87 spot 50, which is this area here or this area down through here. Okay, now we came into the 88 area and we bounced, price rebounded and moved back up towards these previous breakout lows and has rejected and is starting to move back to the downside again. So the analysis is playing out really nicely here. So if we just go into Aussie yen, you can see that price has come into that previous area. If I actually go to the 4 hour, this is where we were kind of doing most of our analysis, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Price came into the 88 level, it rebounded. What we were talking about at the time was one or two things. We were looking at the pullback into the breakout lows for a short into the 88, or wait for price to obviously hit the 88, come back and reject and continue short. So either one of those could have offered us an opportunity in the market, and you can see that if you traded from that 90 spot 25 area down to that 88, you've got a good 200 pip reward there. Now it looks like we've rejected that area and we've come back. We could be seeing price head down to our next level of interest, which was that 87 spot 50 handle. Now, why I'm interested in this again is because obviously the market is telling us the momentum is with the downside here. And I'm looking at Aussie yen hourly chart to see if I could look for a possible re-entry into this market. Now, you can see we've trended back to the upside. We formed these lows in here, which is around about the 89.50 handle. And that's what I'm going to be looking to target to see if price will come back and form a lower high. Now, because of the risk-off scenario in the market, it may not pull back. Price may just head towards the previous lows again and even break towards that the 87.50 handle. So you've got to bear that in mind. However, that area there at the 89.50 does look good to potentially see price reject again. Alternatively, if price could get back anywhere near the area it sold from, that sort of 90 handle, that'd be a great area to look for shorts again. You know, I like to look at shorts where price has sort of rejected in the past, so I do like to see price come up a little bit higher here for Aussie yen. But it looks like the risk off in the market is on at the moment, and I think the risk off environment is very prominent in the market at the moment, and I'm looking to see if price will continue the move down. You know, 87 spot 50 is the overall target here, but if it can trade through that, we've got the 85.50 as well. If I zoom out, you can see these highs previously, which I do think that Aussie yen could target. Now we're breaking out all of these key levels. Another market that we spoke about actually yesterday was CAD yen, and CAD yen has started to play out pretty nicely. So if I go into CAD yen as well, we were talking about getting short or around about the 98 level. Now I do have a position in on CAD yen short on this hourly time frame at 98. Price did go beyond it by quite some way, but I had a 95 pip stop, which was the ATR stops from Chart Partner yesterday. So if you want to go take a look at that video, you can do. So basically got in at the 98 with a 95 pip stop loss. So this was where my stop loss was. So I gave the market plenty of room to breathe essentially. And then this morning you can see back on side, about 50 pips in profit now, looking to see if price can come all the way down into the 96 handle or even to the 95 handle. So my targets are on the 95 down here, looking to see if we can get that sort of 300 pip reward here with that 95 pip stop. So we've got a good 3-to-1 return there potentially forming. Now I just wanted to again bring your attention to this, because if you're not in this position already, there could be a possibility that price could come back to the 98 handle for a sort of secondary retest, because you could argue that this here could potentially be a double top. The 98 could be the neckline of that pattern, and that does suggest that maybe if we get a lower high, it could come in at that 98 level. So you could look for another entry here. Stop loss, however, this time, because the volatility has increased, ATR has increased to 118 and even 111 pips. So you may want to add a little bit extra onto your stop loss. However, I still think above these highs would be fairly adequate. So you may want to use the ATR stops from yesterday. But looking to see if this one will continue to the downside now, and it's looking quite healthy at the moment to the downside. Another market that I was really interested in, obviously we're interested in Aussie yen to the downside though. I just also wanted to bring your attention back to a previous chart, which was actually Aussie US dollar. So Aussie US dollar actually coming up into an area here. Now we'll just bring in the currency strength indicator tables. The dollar isn't on the strong side from the trend traders, but is obviously, yeah, it isn't on the strong side at all, sorry, I should say. It's on the weak side of the day traders and isn't featured on our trend traders as strong. So it's not necessarily something we would look to potentially look for a position on it compared to the likes of sort of Aussie yen here. But I just wanted to bring your attention to it because it's come up into our resistance level that we spoke about a while ago, and it has actually rejected and started to push to the downside here. Now there is some dollar data today, so maybe if the dollar does start to appear on the strong side of the table, there could be a good opportunity to maybe look into Aussie US dollar in the future for some potential downside, because we've got that trend line resistance, we've got the horizontal resistance, and it seems to be that we're rejecting it at the moment. So we could see that one develop in the future. So that's all I've got time for. I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember, Aussie yen, the one to focus on, looking for potential downside here. Look forward to speaking to you in the next video. Cheers.